I'm Dr. Erin Boynton, and I'm an orthopedic surgeon who happens to just love tennis. I play tennis, and I've worked with a lot of professional tennis players. I'm the doctor for the Rogers Cup for the WTA Tour when the ladies come to Toronto, and I've helped numerous professional athletes with sports injuries. One of the most common areas that I've noticed that has been a problem for tennis players in particular in recovering from is shoulder pain. And I think that this happens because many times the treating therapists don't recognize the imbalance of the soft tissues around the shoulder. And what do I mean by that? If we look at the arm from the side, there's a circle. And what happens when we do repetitive activities such as serving is that the tissues on the back of the shoulder get tight. And when they get tight, it changes the way that the humeral head moves within the glenoid socket. So it ends up causing an obligatory motion of the humeral head rising up and actually pinching the rotator cuff tendon at the front of the shoulder. So even though the problem is at the back, where the tightness is, the pain is felt at the front. Until you balance the shoulder, that is, stretch the back of the shoulder, no matter how much you try to strengthen the rotator cuff or how much you try to waken up the shoulder stabilizers, it won't work. So the first thing you have to do, relax the tissues around the shoulder, make sure you have good range of motion, and then stretch the posterior capsule. And my favorite stretch for stretching the posterior capsule is what's called the sleeper stretch. You do the sleeper stretch by lying on your side, on the affected shoulder. You have your arm at about 90 degrees to your body. Legs are bent. And what you're trying to do here is stabilize your shoulder blade on your chest wall. Sorry, I'm going to sit up again because if you just try and stretch the back of your shoulder, you can see how I'm pulling my shoulder blade right across my chest wall. So by lying on my side and on my shoulder blade, you can see that I'm able to prevent the shoulder blade from sliding around my chest. So now what I do is I roll over onto the shoulder blade, and then I put my opposite hand on the back of my forearm, and I press my hand towards my hip. So I'm pressing my right hand towards my hip. And you want to hold this for about 90 seconds. Now, when you're doing this, it shouldn't be painful. You should not be feeling pain at the front of the shoulder. You want to feel a stretch at the back of your shoulder. If you get in this position and you don't feel a stretch, try changing the position of your arm. You can put your elbow down a little bit or up a little bit, and this will change where you're stressing the back of your capsule. If none of that works, then get a piece of foam or a towel and elevate your elbow so that when you're doing the stretch, you're accentuating the posterior capsular stretch. I find this much more effective with the foam than just flat on the bed. And you repeat the stretch. As soon as you finish doing the sleeper stretch, then what I want you to do is to activate the rotator cuff muscle by lying on your back, your arms in the goalpost position, activate your core, and then push the back of your hand into the floor. Hold it for 6 seconds and repeat 6 times. And what you'll find is that after you've rebalanced your shoulder by stretching the back of the capsule, the posterior capsule, your strengthening efforts will be much more effective and you'll be able to get back to playing the sport you love.